what's up guys? So Jeremy and I are gonna wrap the front bumper. We've got inlays done already, and obviously the embossing design or pattern, whatever you wanna call it. But yes, lots of work into it already. One inlay in here. Now, I decided to do it this way as opposed to doing it the other way where I could have done just pieces in the sides. I thought the line would be a little bit more symmetrical, running all the way through and all the way up to the top. Now, if I had just done pieces here, what we would end up having is a seam right here. Now, yes, we do have a seam that will run all the way across, but it should be pretty well hidden, especially with the adhesive on this film being clear. All right, so that makes seaming a little bit nicer, and should be one of the highlights of this film right here. So we're gonna see how it all looks in the end. I've also got a couple of inlays, one on each side for the fog light area. We do have to have these, it's very important. Though I did the one in here because we're going to take this and we're going to fold the tab in with the excess film, all right? So we're going to have a nice clean piece that runs right through there and one through here. You get to see all of this once it's all finished. So let's do it. I'll roll this out. So the front bumper on this car is actually a little bit longer than the rear. So we went with the front bumper measurement, and we're going to get this up kind of where we need it. Probably could have done it with the hood open. No big deal. It's not a big deal. We're professionals. Combined, we have a million years experience. No, we have 17 years experience with Jeremy and I together. Jeremy started out doing a lot of sign stuff, and I've just been doing color changes since the very beginning. But he's been killing it with the color changes, so he's got a lot of experience when it comes to that as well. Cool. He's gonna have to answer the phone. It's all good. Do what you gotta do. No, go ahead and answer the phone. So what I can explain is a couple of things what's happening here, all right? So as we can see again, my film is not tacky, all right, which is really nice. I'm gonna stick a magnet down here so it doesn't slide off, because it's really more of a heat activated or pressure sensitive film. It does move around quite easily, all right? It's gonna help you in the long run when it comes to glassing things out, getting wrinkles out, and not worrying about it sticking so aggressively. This is one of those films where you don't really need tack reducer. I wouldn't even recommend it on pretty much any part of the vehicle. So we'll be totally fine. And we can see that it kind of just wants to fall into its place. We're gonna have to glass this out, obviously. So we have to make sure we have good contour coming around the top and the bottom so that it hugs the top and the bottom just like this. So we want the film to grab in just like this all the way through, all right? So it's gonna wanna bring it in through the top and through the bottom. This is not a very complex bumper. The main thing is getting the inlay set up and setting yourself up for success, of course, right? So I'm just gonna wait for Jeremy there, and then we're gonna hit this with some heat and glass it out together. It's not gonna take very long. I think it's gonna take us like maybe 20 minutes to do the whole bumper. I was saying 45 to him in the beginning because he was like, but I just wanted to see what he said. So it's like, no, we can do it faster than that. And I'm like, yeah, we could probably do it faster than that. So since we already have it set up, right? And what I'll actually do is I'll actually just balance it out a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit off. And obviously the bumper is not painted, right? So that's not really what's making it not stick. We did the video on the hood, and that shows that even with a painted surface, it's still not very tacky at all, which is what I wanted. See how we're looking there. I'm just gonna, so I'm not really doing anything yet. So mainly what I'm gonna be doing, so Jeremy's we'll do this vice versa. I'll pull this way while Jeremy pulls vertically, and I'll pull horizontally, and we'll get this side glassed out. I was just going to say, this is our tension point right here. So this is where a majority of our stretch is going to come from when it comes to stretching or glassing this piece of film around the bumper. So let's do it. Let's grab the heat gun. We're going to need some heat. And I'll swing it back probably about halfway or so. That's funny sounds, right? Like make like a cracking sound.
Oh, the heat gun?
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't think it's the heat gun. I think it's the film. It's just like it's hitting it when it's cold. All right.
It's like what, probably like 65, 70 degrees in here right now?
Yeah, I think it's around 70. So it's a decent temperature. It's just we're a little closer to the floor. So all right. So Jeremy knows what to do here. I'm gonna pull my weight. Okay. We're probably gonna need a bit more heat again. So to bring the bottom around. So let's try to lock this in a little bit. I don't want to bring it back too far. We don't have to worry so much about the headlight area since this is very flat. We're going to be contouring it around the bottom a little bit more. Like I said, this is a very easy bumper. It's not difficult. Just going to bring it back to about there. We don't want to overstretch the film because we'll make it shiny, so we got to keep that in mind. And we do need to heat quite a bit of it, top to bottom, so that we do have consistent stretch. All right, I can feel it giving out, which is good. Heat a little bit more around the bottom, and then we'll go for it. Yeah, it should be fine. We can pull that out. Perfect. Looks good. So I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna put a magnet there so it doesn't pull back. This is super easy to get out right now. A little wrinkle there. Let's just flash it with a bit of heat. There. Cool. So as we can see, if we check out the bottom right now, let's just glass this out a bit, that when I go to heat this, it's all just going to shrink itself under. Okay? So right there, it's all going to shrink itself right underneath. Look at that. It's beautiful. That's exactly what you want on all your bumper wraps. The exaggeration of this will vary depending from bumper to bumper, but generally you're going to want it to swoop in underneath and on top. So let's go and do the other side now. I'll help Jeremy here and do exactly what he did, but in the other direction. So you can bring it back a little bit more probably. Yeah, somewhere around there. So having the extra set of hands, obviously it helps a lot. If you got a buddy that can help you out, then amazing. If not, then I've got a million videos on doing it solo. So we'll take advantage while we have the help though. Alright, so watch when I pull right here. I'm gonna put my hands a little bit further ahead and I'm gonna actually help him guide it that way, okay? So again, stop. I'll talk to him, I'll tell him to stop. See if we still got some flexibility on it. We could use a bit more heat, so we'll stop right there. And then I'll just add a bit more heat while he's got it. Yep, just hold it right there. So if we talk to each other, if one person does the talking and the guiding, both people can't guide, right? So one person has to guide, the other person just kind of has to help and do what the other person is saying. So if you're doing this with two people, choose somebody who's going to be doing that. So let's finish the other bit. Again, I'm going to come ahead of it. And we should be pretty good. There. Yeah. Perfect. So I'm just going to lock it in here. Stick a magnet. You got a magnet there? Yeah, just slap on the top just so it doesn't pull back because there's nothing to stick onto it. And then yeah, for down here, he's just going to heat it right there, get all those wrinkles out, and we're going to start squeegeeing the air out. We're going to shrink all this on the top back down to normal, and it's going to hug. It's going to hug in really nicely. Oh. So I'm going to start. Definitely with the embossing, want some heat on it because it helps a lot. Cool. Yeah, so he's got his side pretty much all set up there. Let's finish out the center section here. So if we heat this, it should just shrink back. Yep, just heat it. Yep, perfect. So we can just kind of let it rest. If we find that we have a bit too much slack, we can push in and pull down a little bit just to glass it out. Perfect, that looks good. And then for the top, once he's finished on the bottom, we'll take a little bit more heat up here. We're going to hold it up and we're going to heat it. Yeah, and just let it shrink back down. Perfect. Let's get this out. So hit me up with a bit of heat over here. Yep, and just let it come down. Excellent. Easiest way to wrap a bumper, guys. If you're doing it alone or if you're doing it together. Now we're just gonna both go at it. So I'll talk about what's going on my side, and like I said, we'll have to go over all of this again with heat to make sure that we define the embossing, which is obviously the key to this whole thing. Just making that look nice. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take a bit of heat, shrink it down, let it do its thing, and then what I wanna do is bring it in a little bit, all right? And I'm just gonna bring it in more, try to do it in one shot so that we don't have too much stretch, all right? So you saw how I kind of just pushed my hand in there? This is not a heavy recess, which is great. Take this again, and I'm gonna shrink this around the top. Done. And we're getting close, so I masked off the fender right here. Let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of this. Perfect. What do you need? Blade? So, let's finish off down here. So yes, it does make it slightly more challenging with a non-painted bumper, but not using too much stretch and using the correct inlays, we should be just fine. Go ahead if you want to take it. What I need to do is find my inlay line, all right, which is going to be slightly challenging, but I need to find that line, and then once I do, I'm going to be trimming off that line and then putting this tab right in to the fog light area. And let's get rid of some of this excess while he's over there. There's a front lip that goes on this, right? It's a black front lip stock. Yeah. Take that. So we have to find our inlay for the bottom, which I can see it right there. That's the line right there. Could do knifeless tape in there if you wanted to. I never do. I always freehand them. Like now I'll do the freehand cut. You want to probably do the knifeless tape beforehand though for the first cut. The second cut, as long as you have a steady hand, isn't as important to use knifeless tape. You can still make it very straight. And as long as you're gentle enough, you won't cut through to the paints. So for here, what I'm going to do is push in a little bit and find my inlay. Good, I found it. Yeah, go ahead. Turn this off. Steal the heat gun again. So we can see all of this up here is just hugging right in, which is amazing. Exactly what you want. And then I'm going to finish off the fog light area. So I found my inlay for the top. Oh. Jeremy's being proactive and got himself another heat gun. I was too lazy to do it. So again, we're going to find that line and make sure we can stretch in a bit. That's fine. We just don't want to stretch in too much. We just want to find that line, all right? Always just looking for that inlay line. Cool, I found it. If for whatever reason your freehand cut here doesn't come out very clean, you can always go in there and trim it up afterwards and clean it up. Do your best to do it nicely in the first try so you don't waste your time, but it's just one of those things. Perfect. So I'm going to remove this section here, and now what I want to do with this section here is heat it, shrink it, make sure it doesn't move. Let's pull back a little bit further because I need to. Cool. And then we're going to bring this inlay in, all right? Not inlay, this tab basically. What's challenging here is to keep it smooth, nice and smooth, without getting it all wrinkled up, rinked. Almost there. Oh, where's my squeegee? There it is. All right, awesome. So my section over here is pretty good. What I'm going to do is clean up the inlay a little bit. Sorry, the seam.
Okay, inside.
Yeah. Let's get rid of that. And let's trim up the top. So remember, there's always risk with freehand cutting. Just want to keep that in mind. So if it's easier for you to use knifeless, then use knifeless. Perfect. Then we're just gonna trim everything off. We're gonna do the centerpiece still. Is it a little short on the bottom? Because mine was, I had to stretch it down a little bit. Yeah? You able to stretch it down a little bit?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
This is such a deep channel.
Yeah, it's a really deep channel, so. All right. So for here, see how I keep myself close to the blade and change my body position to work better. Always when you're freehand cutting, make sure your blade is as sharp as possible. This way you know the amount of pressure that you need to apply to the film is always at a constant. So there's always a standard of extremely sharp. If you've used your blade a few times for other things, then make sure that you snap one off, because then you don't know how sharp your blade is anymore and you won't know how hard to push. Perfect, it's beautiful. All right, as far as this inlay goes, looks really nice. Now let's finish wrapping this. receiver. So what I'm gonna do is finish off under here. Alright, almost done. There's so much embossing on this, it takes a while to get all the air out. Hey? Wait till you get squeegeeing on your side over there. You'll see how getting the air out, it takes a bit of effort. It's just a lot. I lost you at the 30-minute mark there.
What's that?
The camera shuts off at 30 minutes.
Oh, you shut it back on.
Yeah, just turn it back on. So what I'm gonna do here is make sure everything's over. Trim it off. Cut around the back here. Pretty much almost done right here on my side. Then we have to squeegee all the air out from the channels. So with all the extra, pushing all the extra air out right now, just taking a little bit longer than anticipated, but I mean the bumper is wrapped, we're just getting out the rest of the air. So. I want you guys to see what it looks like. Can't see it, all the embossing if I don't get all the air out. Apparently Jeremy's hands are a little more sensitive than mine, needs a wrap glove. It's just cold as hell up in Canada, so my hands are calloused and dried. It's from waking up in an igloo every day. Just keep in mind, guys, when you go to do a wrap like this, if you don't do this part, there's no point even doing it. So, because you have to take your time to get all the air out of each channel. Awesome. Alright, so in case you guys are getting bored, I'm going to show you how the bumper turned out for the most part. I'll let Jeremy finish up his side, but we'll go through it right now and see how what I've done looks. It's awesome, super awesome. Alright, cool, so let's check it out. So we've got our inlay in there. All right. Got our inlay in the middle. Right. Can you see the seam? slightly right there, right? Pretty much not even noticeable. Check the top out. Cool. Check out this side. Cool. Just finishing it up over there. We've got most of this ironed out right now. Like all the air's out. We'll need to touch it up a little bit. That's it. Oh, the whole car in this, guys. It's a lot of work. All right, but it's gonna look amazing. It's a lot of work just to even get the car done with the pattern over top of it. All right, guys, if you like the video of the Toyota Supra front bumper, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more of what this car is all about, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to check out, if you're in the West End, Wrap It Up Graphics in Southern Oregon. People driving hours to come here, so you know it's good when people are doing that. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Take care.